Good morning and happy Hughes Day, everybody. Welcome into the Steven Singer Studios. My name's Marc Farzetta, and this, of course, is the Farzy Show. We got Sixers things we want to get into regarding the Sixers Summer League, regarding Ben Simmons. There is video out there. Ben Simmons did not post it, but there's video out there of Ben Simmons shooting three-pointers. So don't yell at Ben. Don't yell at Ben. Oh, he posted the workout stuff. He didn't post the workout stuff. Chris Johnson, the shooting coach, did. We'll show you that. I feel like I am obligated to show it to you, so I'll show it to you a little bit later in the show. We'll talk about Bryce Harper and the Phillies getting back into action today against the Dodgers from Los Angeles, so I look forward to breaking that down for you. We'll be so analytical on this show today that we will leave no stone unturned when we talk about Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, who gets his first game day action as a head coach coming up in just a couple of days, Thursday for the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll leave no stone unturned when it comes to evaluating him as a head coach. We'll even talk about his attire. That's right. What the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles is wearing is all the rage right now. So we'll get into that as well as we go through the show this fine morning. Let's start it off with this. I watched every minute of Sixers Summer League yesterday. Every minute, folks, of Sixers Summer League yesterday. And let me tell you, that Tyrese Maxey guy, I didn't think he started out that well. I know everyone's praising him, and rightfully so, for how he really finished the game and played the final 3.5 quarters. But how he started that game, I was like, okay, all right, young fella, work out the kinks, please. And boy, did he, to the tune of 21 points. There was a point in last night's game where Tyrese Maxey and Isaiah Joe, friend of the show, former guest of the Farzy Show, Isaiah Joe, were combining for points left and right during the broadcast. That the commenters, the guys doing the broadcast, even said that the Sixers were threatening to set a record for the biggest blowout in Las Vegas Summer League history. So let's just take that into consideration. But Tyrese Maxey looked like a guy that wanted to go out there and dominate for his teammates. And he had a quote after the game that just took me back. This quote after the game was amazing. He talked about how shooting was not an option. It's something you simply have to do if you're a basketball player. Check out the big brain on Brad. How about that? Tyrese Maxey saying that shooting is not an option if you're a basketball player. Well, as we all know, it was for a teammate of his, a guy that looks like he's going to be a former teammate of his, in Ben Simmons. I was blown away by that quote after the game yesterday. Couldn't believe it. Especially who it was coming. It was something that I would expect to hear from, let's say, Joel Embiid. Because Joel Embiid has made comments like that before, time and time again. You know who hasn't made comments like that? A guy going into his sophomore season named Tyrese Maxey. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was happy to see it, but I couldn't believe that I was actually seeing it in front. And I thought I had it right here in front of me, and here it is. Tyrese Maxey, this is from Austin Krell. Tyrese Maxey on his advice for rookies. Off days are not off days. Love it already. The option to shoot isn't an option to shoot. You need to be there every single day and find a way to get yourself better. I love it. And I know he's talking about practice. I know he's just talking about getting your shots in every single day. But that translates to getting it in a game as well. Love this from the young guy. You know what? I want more responsibility for him. More responsibility for Tyrese Maxey, and he might be getting more responsibility. Doc Rivers did give an interview yesterday during the broadcast, and as you would expect, he had nothing at all on Ben Simmons. And I'm sure before the interview, this is just speculation, but if that's the subject, Ben Simmons is the subject that we're all talking about and what's going to happen with him in the offseason, I'm sure before the interview it was either understood or maybe even acknowledged. Hey, no questions about Ben, right? We can't really talk about that right now. It's a little touchy situation. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case even a little bit. I would seriously doubt if any reporter worth their salt had the head coach of the basketball team that one of the biggest offseason storylines is focused on. I'd be shocked if any reporter worth their salt wasn't even thinking about asking a question about Ben Simmons and the offseason. So we got nothing as far as that went. But nonetheless, excited for the Sixers, excited for Summer League, excited to watch these guys continue to improve their game with the extra rope that they're given throughout the Summer League. Yes, I said it. I'm excited for Summer League. And no, the Sixers did not have some number one overall pick that I was trying to evaluate during it. I was simply trying to evaluate the guy that's going into his sophomore season in the NBA, and that's Tyrese Maxey. So keep it coming. As far as the new guy, Jared Springer, nothing really much for me in this game. He had a strong fourth quarter, but that was about it. But that's what I got out of the Summer League. Summer League game yesterday. Phillies back in action today. Still 2 games up in first place on the Braves. 2.5 games up in first place on the Mets. The Nationals falling apart a little bit, and so are the Marlins, as we have known pretty much all season long. So the Phillies now welcome another first place team to town in the LA Dodgers. Now, Max Scherzer is going to be on the hill tonight, as we told you yesterday, and he's going to be going against Aaron Nola. I will stick by this until the cows come home, quite literally. And yes, you will have a horse video. I just want to make sure I sent that email real late. Jim, do we have the horse video? Do we have it? Okay, cool. So you will see the horse video today. Me riding a horse, talking sports. For at least a brief moment, I'm talking sports. The other moments, I'm trying not to die. That's the other moments that are happening there. But here's what I got for you. We have that video for you a little bit later. Like I said, we got Hugh Douglas coming up in just a minute. But as we talked about yesterday, and the day before, and around the trade deadline, Aaron Nola's new pitching prowess has to keep going here. He's had a strong couple of starts here. He's been able to put some good starts together. The wins, unfortunately, haven't been there. Guy hasn't gotten the run support. I'm hoping that this time around, you're going to watch Aaron Nola really dominate. And I'm hoping for the last month plus of the season, really month and a half of the season, you're going to see Aaron Nola start to put together. Because what have I been saying? Kyle Gibson, great. Ian Kennedy, awesome. All that is good acquisitions, right? But nothing will compare to Aaron Nola being the dominant Aaron Nola that we have seen. And we have seen him go through stretches in his career where he has gone through going over a month and a half of not allowing 2 runs in a start, going 6 or 7 innings at every single start and not allowing more than 2 runs. We have seen runs like that from Aaron Nola before, not just a couple of years ago when he was a Cy Young candidate, but the year before that, the year after that. We have seen him go through runs like that. Right now is a time where you need Aaron Nola to have one of those runs again, where he is simply a dominant pitcher again. And he's a guy that just goes out there on the hill and every single fifth day, he goes out there and you feel confident that he's going to hold the bats of the opposing team at bay and go through another one of those stretches where he's going 7 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, 2 runs. And when you have a lineup with Didi Gregorius, with JT Realmuto, with Gene Segura, with Bryce Harper, and all those guys hitting the way they're hitting, and even Bamboo Brad, the great, what do they call him over the weekend on the Phillies social media? The great Bambuno? Okay, I'll indulge. You won 8 in a row, I'll indulge. With the guys hitting the baseball the way they're hitting the baseball, you can't help but think that a lot more wins are on the way if you have guys like Kyle Gibson, Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola dominating from the hill. Those guys pitch well. These bats stay hot. You're going to win a lot of baseball games, and the Phillies will win this division going away with it. Imagine this for just a second. Let's live in this fantasy world for a second, because this fantasy world is actually quite plausible here, quite possible. Let's see here. You run away with the division, and you would do that by having a Cy Young Award winner in Zach Wheeler. Goes on to win Cy Young. Let's hope that happens. An MVP? What? An MVP in Bryce Harper? Are you crazy? Not that crazy to think about right now. He's second in Major League Baseball in on-base percentage. Home runs aren't sky high with 20 so far in the season. A lot of them solo home runs. RBIs certainly aren't off the charts. But if he keeps this going and over a 300 batting average on the season, yeah, you're talking about a guy that could and also propels this team to first place and a playoff berth. Yeah, you could be talking about a guy that is going to be, excuse me, a guy that is going to be an MVP candidate at least towards the end of the season. And you know what that means? Could we be talking about a manager of the year in Joe Girardi? Could we? This is where Joe earns his money. That's what I was saying all day yesterday. I'll continue to say it now. This is where Joe is going to earn his money and earn the right to be the guy that was replacing another guy that presided over a epic collapse of the last month and a half of the season under Gabe Kapler. This is why Joe's getting paid the big bucks. This is why Joe was hired. Make sure this team keeps on winning. and just keep on keeping on winning. So Phillies, Dodgers get underway tonight. 7:05 start time. Aaron Nola versus Max Scherzer. Going to be some good pitchers on the mound tonight. I was going to save this for our morning rush segment, but I wanted to get to it right now. And before we get to our friend Hugh Douglas, I will let you see the horse video. We're going to do that before the guest, simply because I've been promising it for so long. Jim, can we do that? Can we play that? Can we play the first? Thank you, Jim. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play that first. But here's what I got for you. Nick Sirianni. Let's look at some of this attire here. Jason Kelce t-shirt. All right. Nobody likes this. We don't care. No one likes this. We don't care. For the win, Nick Sirianni on the Jake Elliott shirt there. That's cool. Run, Booby, run for Miles Sanders. All right. Supporting his players. And then finally, Brandon Graham t-shirt. Now, some people might look at this and be like, fanboy. This is lame. He's wearing the shirts of his own players. I love this. I was on a podcast yesterday. I was a guest on a podcast, the Kelly Green podcast, with a nice young lady named Kelly. And she asked me to come on. And she threw this question at me. She said, what do you make of Nick Sirianni's attire? And I said, I love it, by golly. The guy is trying to make himself, and he's not even trying. The guy's a player's coach. And if you're trying to endear yourself to players, why not throw on a shirt with their likeness? Why not throw on a shirt that shows that you respect what they have done before you were here in Philadelphia? And it's not a matter of wiping it away and saying what happened before you doesn't matter. It's acknowledging the player's history here in Philadelphia already and what they have done as a professional. Now you might think that's a little too dramatic. Come on. You don't think that that's going into Nick Sirianni's mind? I don't think he's putting on a shirt being like, man, I hope this guy just likes me. Brandon Graham, I'm wearing your shirt, bro. Like, I don't think that's what it is at all. I think it's a respect thing. And I remember when Chip Kelly was